Welcome back to the Movie A Day podcast, the one and only podcast that reviews a different film each and every day. And as always, here to break down said films, we have Sky
Hello.
and Ryan.
Hey, y'all.
So, the movie that we will be covering today is The Square, directed by Ruben Östlund, and it was picked by me. The Square came out 2017. It is about, and I'm going to have to be just reading the IMDb synopsis here because I don't really know how else to explain this. As stated by IMDb, a prestigious Stockholm museum's chief art curator finds himself in times of both professional and personal crisis as he attempts to set up a controversial new exhibit. So, Ryan, do you want to start us off with your initial thoughts, spoiler-free, and your recommendation?
Sure. So my initial thoughts on The Square, I thought it was a pretty good film. Some of the aspects of the film were pretty cool. The camera work was very well shot. The acting was pretty solid all around, and definitely an upgrade from Bird Box, our previous podcast. And unlike Bird Box, I highly recommend this movie.
Well, I disagree fully. Bird Box was no, I'm joking. Yeah, I would definitely second that. I believe that this was a much better film, and would definitely 100% recommend this movie. For me, cinematography was really cool. I liked all the squares. No pun intended, I guess. But the themes, I'm like big into themes, and this had a lot of cool themes that we'll dive into later.
Yeah, the absence of MGK was definitely felt throughout this film. But on a serious note, this was a very good movie, very good follow-up to his previous film, Force Majeure, which should have been nominated for Best Foreign Feature at the Oscars, and it was not. Elizabeth Moss was fantastic in this movie. I don't know. She wasn't in it very much, but every scene she was in, I was either laughing or cringing or just anything in between. She's great. Then, as Sky mentioned, lots of great themes in this movie that we can hit on. Great cinematography, as Ryan mentioned. Just a lot of individual scenes that really stand out throughout the film. And I would highly recommend it. It's definitely going to fall in the top 15 at the very least of 2017, which was a great year for movies. And yeah, I would highly recommend it. And I think we can get into spoilers now.
Okay, where do we start? Jeez, I'm trying. There's so much to talk about in this movie.
Yeah,
Should we start?
It is kind of hard to spoil this movie.
Yeah, it's a really confusing movie to like follow sometimes at some points.
Should we do it chronologically? Because I guess the main thing I can think of, and granted there could be something before this, but like when he's walking, and I didn't even notice him actually getting pickpocketed the first time. Grant pointed that out.
Yeah,
but,
I didn't notice that either.
Yeah, I really like how that was done. Like, it didn't shove it in your face.
Exactly.
Like,
yeah.
pretty much every other mainstream Hollywood movie would do.
It was off center too. Like the focal point was us like focusing on like, because like when they were doing that scene, they were kind of like she was yelling, "Oh, this guy's trying to kill me," and the two guys that were there, which one of them was the main character, they were looking in the opposite direction. So like naturally, we're looking in the opposite direction, like trying to like get the camera to like move with us. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah, that was all one take too. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that whole sequence was one take, and I love how they set it up, like where he's just like ignoring the homeless beggar on the street, and then he like the end of the scene essentially ends up him like being the beggar because he's like, I need a phone. Someone stole my phone and my money, and no one's gonna talk to him either because that's again big theme. Homelessness is a big part of, I guess, this movie.
Yeah, almost every scene in this movie really has something to say about like human nature or art or both.
Yeah, or how society, like, yeah, we as a whole, conformity, trust. Oh my gosh, there's so many.
Bystander effect, especially.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Lots of people saying "help me" throughout.
Oh my gosh!
Like there's about at least 5 or 6 times.
Yeah, no,
It's a very funny movie too.
oh yeah, like you said, Elizabeth
Yeah.
Moss was hilarious in this movie. I wish she was in it more, to be honest. And I want to talk to you guys about because I honestly don't know, but like, what is the point of having the ape living in her
Yeah,
apartment?
I was gonna bring that up
Yeah,
too.
we
I'm
lost
glad
you
you
for
brought
a
it up.
second. Or no, I think I just lost you guys for a second.
Oh, I was saying like what like why did she have the ape in there? That's like the one thing. Like it's hilarious, but like there's just like an ape running around in her apartment. And I'm like I don't fully know what the I guess the purpose of that was.
Yeah, I don't really know. I mean, it could relate to the main scene that everyone
Yeah.
talks about in the
Oh
movie
yeah,
with the
definitely
guy.
Mhm.
the best scene for me.
Yeah,
Oh
that
my
scene that
gosh.
scene was very entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting, like the monkey, like the orangutan gorilla, or not really gorilla, but like chimpanzee, whatever it was.
The chimpanzee.
I think it was a chimpanzee. It was just kind of like it. I don't know what it was trying to symbolize, but like I noticed that it was basically doing like human actions. Like it sat down, it like read the newspaper, and it was trying to
It was
put
like
on
putting
lipstick.
makeup on too or
Yeah.
something, yeah.
So I don't know if that was like trying to symbolize the other guy that was trying to is a human that's trying to mimic a monkey, and then you have the monkey trying to mimic a human, like kind of like a role reversal.
Yeah, just kind of like following again, I guess, kind of conformity. Because like even like I guess we should kind of sum up the scene. Essentially, there's a huge I guess gala or dinner party for all the rich high class, which apparently, Grant, you said you looked up and they actually had like the top one
Yeah,
of like
they
people
had
who live there.
the real life top 1%, a good portion of the Swedish population. But in real life, actually, this was based on something that happened. There's an artist, I forget his name now, but he was actually pretending to be a dog, and he was biting like people's ankles, and they ended up calling the police on him and getting him arrested.
Oh, jeez.
So yeah, based on a real scene. This scene definitely takes it a little farther.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely a lot farther.
Yeah,
So it's
this-
essentially like a live action like art show where like a guy who's an actor, I guess, in the Planet of the Apes new movies, is like running around acting like an ape, and then it kind of just shows how like everyone just kind of follows each other, like again with like society not helping the beggars, right? It's one person can't make or one person by yourself can't make a difference. You need like everyone and like essentially something pretty horrific was going to happen, but like thankfully one guy stood up and then everyone starts to like help out. Otherwise, like everyone would have just sat there if that one person
Yeah.
wouldn't have made a move, which is kind of messed up to think.
Mhm.
And I like how they preface the scene by saying like no one move and like hope it preys on someone else.
Yeah, no, yeah, exactly. Like I think they even say you're in the jungle and they're playing jungle,
Yeah.
making you feel like you're out there.
Yeah, it was definitely interesting, and the movie kind of ended abruptly. So like
Yeah, I actually
like the ending
really
just
liked
kind of
the
like
ending.
left a lot for interpretation, which was kind of cool. So like like you're in the car right after he confronts or he tries to confront the kid's parents, which if we go back a little bit in the beginning or sort of beginning of the film, the main character after he gets pickpocketed by those people, those strangers in the beginning, he tries to find who stole like his wallet and his phone and stuff. So he writes these like really I don't know, like it was kind of like a weirdly worded letter, like can't really
Like a
remember,
threat,
like,
kind of.
yeah, it was like a really aggressive letter, and he put it in the mailbox of all these apartments in this apartment complex. And one of the little boys that was living in the apartment complex, his parents thought that the letter was assuming that the kid stole this man's property, so the parents grounded the kid. And then the kid ended up finding him eventually later on in the film, claiming that he should go talk to his parents to fix this, that he's not the thief, like you got your shit like back, I'm not your thief, go tell my parents so I can get off the hook. And then he goes back to the apartment complex and he finds like he tries to find the room, but then he ends up answering the door to the what was that guy? Was he like he was like the tenant, right? or like one of the tenants.
It was
I
just
think
a
he was
random
just a
tenant.
random tenant.
Just a
Yeah, he
random
was just
tenant?
knocking around
Okay.
trying to find the kid.
Yeah, and he said essentially that, you know, they moved, I guess, a while ago. So, and that's just kind of how the movie ends after that. Like they get in the car and then they just keeps driving. Like he never helped the
Yeah,
kid
I guess
out.
one thing with that too, like this is how I kind of, I guess, interpreted that ending. Well, I guess one thing you left out, I guess, we'll go way back at the beginning. When he goes, the reason he does put like the note in every single person's thing, he says later on when he made that video to the kid that he did it because it was like a poor area and he was like kind of scared. He didn't want to interact with all these like
Right.
poorish people, so he was like scared, and so he just left notes essentially in all their mailboxes. But then at the end, like he like gives the whole speech, and he goes talks to that guy you were talking about, and he's like asking him for help, like, oh, he doesn't live where, and like the guy's like, you can tell he doesn't know this guy, like it's weird, he's not comfortable, he's not trusting the situation, so he's like, oh, I have no idea. And then like it ends with the guy just driving like kind of lost, and like kind of hits home the same thing of like, you can't really make a difference by yourself, you kind of need like a group, if that makes sense. So like, I guess that's kind of like, I guess one of the themes I saw in this, like you need to like help each other, and people only are willing to do that if like a controversy happens, which we haven't even talked about. That actually might be my favorite part of the video the marketing team made.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was something to see. But I don't know, do you guys take the I guess Ryan already talked a little bit. Grant, do you have a different interpretation, I guess, of the ending?
It's basically the same. I think he just kind of comes to a realization, and kind of the audience does as well, that like his project like isn't really going to mean anything, because like everything he symbolized in that project, the square, which is supposed to be like everyone is treated fair and equal and all that, it's not really going to mean much, because when he finally does change his morals and beliefs, because he didn't practice these things in real life. He would send all the things to the people, and like he was kind of an asshole to the kid, and he's kind of an asshole to his own kids for a little bit. But like,
yeah,
when
he started out.
When he finally does start to change, it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't change anything.
No, yeah, that person's still homeless. Like eventually he starts giving homeless people money when he didn't at first. And then like, yeah, he starts doing it, but you still see them there. They're not, saved or anything by one person giving them like a couple bucks here and there. It's like an issue society as a whole has to address, but like no one's, I guess, willing to do it. Or like, again, you don't like almost feel like comfortable doing it. Like people only like joining together if like something's like super bad, like the video where like the girl essentially exploded, that like got everyone like in an uproar, and then everyone had like something to say. But like again, if you're just talking, I think the marketing team even said that too. They're like, oh, like we can't do an ad about this being like a safe space, like that would be like ridiculous, like that's not going to get any clicks and views, like you gotta have some controversy in there. And that scene where like the marketing guy is like acting out the little girl.
Yeah.
Like that's that humor that like is so funny. It's so like cringy and weird, but oh my gosh.
Yeah, definitely an interesting take on society.
Yeah. Does anyone else have anything, like any final thoughts or?
I mean, God, there's so many scenes in it. I think that's, I guess, so yeah, I guess the only like slight complaints I had were like, one, I wanted more Elizabeth Moss, but she was kind of just there to kind of, I guess, have that whole scene about liking power or whatever, and how like you're not allowed to, like it's uncomfortable to like power. And then he like does the role reversal with her, and she's like, oh, like you were like saying you're proud to like conquer me. Oh, I actually kind of like that. It's like a weird like twist on like that, I guess, idea. And then the kids kind of just came in out of nowhere, and I don't really know. I mean, unless you guys have something, like I don't really know like this, the play.
Yeah, like they got dropped off just got dropped off, right? Like.
Yeah, I'm assuming he's like divorced or something.
Right, he's probably divorced. Yeah. And then
but they don't really address the kids at all.
Like the whole
the only
like,
thing.
scene
you
like
go.
where the kids like show up, yeah, that was confusing. But like for me, like I was like besides like the monkey scene, I think that the other scene that threw me off was like the scene at like the after sex scene where they're like fighting over the condom. It's like
Yeah, again,
That was
back to the
hilarious.
trust. Yeah,
that
well,
was
that
that
the
supposed to be
funniest
like a
part of it.
comic? Yeah. I mean, it was funny to me. It was hilarious, like watching it, but like I didn't know if it like meant like they were playing like tug of war with like something that like his property. I don't know. Like I was trying
Well,
to
I
like
just kind
figure
of
out
took
if
it
there
as
was a
like
meaning.
if I was in his scenario, I'm like, I don't think I'd probably be like him. I'm like, I think it's weird that you brought that up, and then she's
Yeah.
again probably just brought it up in like a nice way, but she's like, oh, well now I think it's weird that you thought it was weird, and like you could tell like they just again like the trust, which goes by the only scene I think or the reason those two girls were in the movie, like the main reason was when he shows them the exhibit, it kind of lets us the audience like see the exhibit, and he does the thing where like if you trust, put your phone in like the square, and then like you're gonna go walk around the museum for like an hour or two, and like if it's there, like the whole point of like that is to create like I guess a trusting thing, and like you could tell it's weird seeing them like leave their phone and then like walk away, not knowing if it'd be there when they came back.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I would say I really liked his assistant. That guy was pretty funny too.
Yeah, his assistant was
Yeah.
entertaining. The whole scene, like in the Tesla or whatever, was pretty funny.
Great song choice.
Oh my gosh!
Oh yeah,
that
the
song's
the
great.
score, the score was pretty interesting too.
Definitely unique.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was something I've never heard for sure, but
Yeah, I don't even know if it would be a score or a soundtrack. It's like with the little
yeah,
chants,
I guess that's true.
the two
Yeah.
main themes.
It kind of did have like a melody to it.
yeah, it was definitely unique. I've never heard of a soundtrack.
It was
like
like a soundtrack score combination. But it definitely added to the environment.
that. Yeah,
Because like
I
it's
would
kind of
agree.
like a weird. It's like a weird like soundtrack. So like and like the scenes like are really weird. So it just kind of matches. But yeah, definitely
I think.
definitely might pick this movie up at some point.
Oh yeah, for sure. I definitely want to watch it again. So
Yeah.
should we say our final? Give it our ratings because they mean so much.
Because they mean so much.
Everything has to have a rating.
Exactly.
Yeah, so who wants to start us off? Who wants to give the rating first?
I can start us off. So I'm in between, but like I'm not gonna be indecisive for this. I'm gonna go with a 9. Like I said, I only have like small little gripes on like the children and like Elizabeth Moss like not being in it as much or kind of just in there for like one scene or one or two scenes, but yeah, it might not bother me the second time I watch it. So I mean, I really liked it.
I would give that rating a 9 out of 10.
My rating a 9. Wait, so does that mean a 9 out of 10?
No, I think
It's
he's
an 8
giving
out of
us-
10 for me.
Oh, okay. I was
Everything,
like,
everything has to have a rating, Sky.
okay.
Yeah, I'm also at an 8 out of 10 on this one. It was good. It was entertaining. Just 8 out of 10 for me. Yeah. It's got to be
Yeah,
like it's got to
could
really pull me
definitely-
in to become a 9 or like and especially a 10. Like it's got to really pull me in.
Yeah, I could definitely see it going up to a 9. When
Yeah, I
watch it
could.
again.
I mean, I wouldn't give it a 10, but I might give it a 9 maybe. I'd have to revisit it one more time to be sure, but
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like we all thoroughly enjoyed it. So, good job, Grant. You didn't make us watch another Bird Box.
Bird Box.
I mean,
film of
we didn't
the
see
year.
any MGK, so it's a
Yeah, it is a little sad.
Yeah.
I'll have to watch
I was
Rap Devil
disappointed with
again. So should I introduce the next movie that I'm actually so excited to introduce?
Take it
go
away.
right ahead.
Okay, so I saw this trailer. It comes out February 1st. It's called Velvet Buzzsaw. That's right, Velvet Buzzsaw. It's got Jake Gyllenhaal, Renee Russo. Jesus, it's got a bunch of people, I'm pretty sure. Tony Collette,
Yeah, Tony
John
Collette.
Malkovich, bunch of other people.
Going back
I'm
to
sure.
Bird Box.
Going back to our roots.
It's all full circle.
Yeah. And directed by Dan Gilroy. Yeah, Grant, you pointed that out.
Yeah, director of Nightcrawler.
But yeah, director of Nightcrawler. He also did the one about the lawyer with Denzel Washington. I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah, I know what you're
Roman
talking
something.
about.
Which I
Roman
never
J.
saw.
Israel Esquire.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I
Which I've
never
heard
seen
was
that
either.
movie. That's a Denzel movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, that'll be the next movie on our list. So if you are our one fan watching, watch it with us.
Yeah.
Don't watch the trailer too,
And
by
if
the
you
way.
are our one fan watching,
Don't
recommend
watch
some movies.
like any well, watch the trailers, but if you already know you're gonna see it, why would you watch a trailer?
I would agree. I just
I
had
guess
no
I'm
idea
not-
what this was, and so I told you guys not to watch it because they spoil something pretty big in it. So that's why
I haven't
didn't
seen the
want you to
trailer
watch
for it, so I'm good.
But yeah, if you wanna watch Velvet Buzzsaw along with us, it is going to be free on Netflix tomorrow when our review gets posted. And by the way, The Square is free with a Hulu subscription.
That
So if
is-
you want to check that movie out, go check out Hulu.
Yep. Start your free trial.
I think
This
think
episode of
that's
the Movie Day podcast sponsored by Netflix and Hulu.
it. We'll throw Amazon on there soon.
But we're working on Amazon. We
Yeah.
gotta talk to Jeff.
Yeah.
Jeff Bezos.
We got to work on our budget.
Yeah. All right.
So yeah, if you guys like the podcast, give us a like on Facebook or give us a follow on Twitter. Check us out on iTunes. Give us a good review if you like it. But other than that, see you tomorrow.
Yeah. See ya.
See you later, everyone.